for you today, beginning with the Under-20s Grand Final. My name's Cameron Walter and I'm very privileged to be joined today on commentary by former New Zealand Indoor Cricket International Guy Coleman. G'day, Guy.
Pleasure to be here, Cam. Thanks very much, mate.
As I mentioned, our first game is the Under-20 final. That will take place between Australia and New Zealand. Australia here in the final by virtue of finishing first during the round-robin series. New Zealand beating the New Zealand Invitational side last night in the preliminary final. Guy, take us through the teams. Who have we got?
Sure, mate. Well, Australia, we've got Ryan Dowes and Jamie Diner, Ryan Dowes being the captain. We've also got Matt Schubert, Ben Cooper, Travis Keys, Blair Oakley's coming back into this team. He played the semi-final and is coming back into the side. Wade Burrows and Luke Taylor. For the Kiwis, Corey Perrott, Captain Daniel Rose. We've got Brett Taylor. We've got Clayton Floyd, real go-to player for the New Zealand side. Dylan Gaskin, Eric Collins, Jordan Dashfield and Nick O'Sullivan.
Excellent. Now we're on standby here for the national anthems. Before the game will get underway, we'll just listen to the centre announcer. So very shortly we'll have the Australian and the New Zealand sides introduced onto the court. You see now the captain, Ryan Dowes, leading the Australians onto the court. He's followed there by Jamie Diner, recovered from an injury. You can see his arm there, his forearm strapped fairly heavily. Both Jamie and Ryan actually haven't played many of the last games. In fact, Ryan hasn't played since the fourth round, and Jamie missed the last two games as well. So there are two players in the Australian side that are coming back after injury. What a game to do it in.
Absolutely. Yeah, Ryan Dowes, real go-to player for them, leader from the front. Bit of a surprise he has been playing since early in the tournament, but fresh and ready to go for the final.
They've just introduced umpire Paul Watson onto the court. Paul will be officiating in his second international final today, following the over 35s World Cup final last year in South Africa. Here come the anthems. An amazing moment for these young players, standing shoulder to shoulder. The country's national anthem is played, and now it's the turn for the New Zealand boys. I'm not afraid to say it as an Australian, the New Zealand national anthem is one of the great anthems, and that helps set the scene for us ahead of this fantastic final of World Cup indoor cricket. Guy, you've seen a bit of the New Zealand team this week. How do you think they'll go?
Yeah, I've been watching them during the week, and look, to be fair to say that the New Zealand side especially have had a bit of a slow start. What I really like about that, though, is that they've peaked. Starting to really peak at the back end of the tournament, which is really, really important. You don't win tournaments on the first day of the Cup, and yeah, really excited to see them step it up another level, and they'll have to against this really, really good Aussie side.
And the Australians have it all to do. Australia, the defending champions in this division, have the mantle of favourites. The pressure's on them.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they've been outstanding all week, just doing the basics just so well, very well drilled, and the basics will get them through. These Kiwi guys are really going to have to step it up a level.
Now, just looking at the previous times these guys have played each other during the tournament, the first was on the first day of the tournament, actually, and Australia on that occasion prevailing by 17 runs, so a very close game to begin the tournament. And the second time they played, a slightly higher margin of 32 runs. So certainly not results that put it beyond doubt. Now Australia will be batting in the final, and opening for Australia, the captain and the vice-captain, Ryan Dowse and Jamie Diener.
Yeah, starting off strong really, really early. Captain taking on the pressure.
How important is that, Guy, to get off to a good start in a game this big?
Batting first in a final, getting runs on the board early, I think that puts a lot of pressure back on the fielding side to have to come back. The good thing about the New Zealand bowling attack is they really do have some firepower to come in, sort of second partnership, third partnership as well, so they can really bring back any damage that may have been done early on by the better players.
Okay, and for your mind, who were the New Zealand strike bowlers that you just alluded to?
Clayton Floyd, so he's a left arm over the wicket bowler. He'll more than likely bowl 5, and he tends to bring the ball back into the right-hander, and he's got a nice little off-cutter away from the right-hander as well. He's really good pace. He was actually unlucky to miss out on the New Zealand A side to play actually in the men's competition. But being underage, under the 20-year-old age bracket, he's been slipped into the under-20 side, and has already shown to be a fantastic performer at the level.
Excellent, and here we are ready now. The first ball of the under-20 grand final for the 2014 World Cup. Fantastic shot to start there from Diener. Off his legs for 3 runs.
Yeah, great solid start there. Kiwi bowlers will probably be looking to pitch quite full, get the balls moving around a little bit early, get them hitting the ball flat and try and bring their fielders into play.
Very full delivery there from Collins. Fended away by Dowse for 2 runs. Another good shot from Diener, played down and up on the leg side for 2. Collins is an interesting choice to open the bowling. Hasn't been that successful in the wickets department, but reasonably economical. So a bit of a test bowler to test the batsman out in the first over.
Bring the ball back in nice. He's got to get that length right early though.
Another good shot from Dowse. Yeah, just caught the net for 2.
Better delivery coming into the off stump there, trying to keep it nice and tight.
Well fielded there from O'Sullivan at the 3 line. Correct call there from Dina. No run.
Much better line from Collins.
Very flat from Dina. That's exactly what you were explaining that the bowler's attempting to do. Unlike the earlier shots in the over, Dina playing very flat there for 2.
A lot easier to bring your fielders into play when the ball's being hit flat in the nets rather than nice and high in the down-up shots.
Down-up shot like that one takes the field completely out of the play. 3 runs to the Australian captain.
Yeah, that's strength right there. These two are going to be really hard to get through. Really good batting pair.
On the leg side, easy 2 runs there. Brings the over to an end. 16 runs from it. Perfect start for Australia.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dina was selected in this side on the basis of his performance at the Australian National Championships, where he actually competed in the Open Men's division. So perhaps could have got the call up into the men's side. Didn't quite make it. Unlucky for mine, but is obviously a strong presence in this side. He's a quality bat. The second over to be bowled by Brett Taylor from New Zealand to the Australian captain. Easy 2 runs there from Douse. Guy, what do you think the pass score is in a grand final like this?
Oh, look, I think anything over 100, these Australians are so clinical in the field and with the ball very, very accurate. I think anything over 100 will be a tough chase. But, you know, the Kiwi guys have got a bit about them. I think they'll give it a really good fight.
Two runs there, high into his offside net for Dina.
Kiwis really struggling so far on their actual consistency of length. I think they're just trying to find their way. They've got to get on the ball straight away to put pressure on these bats.
Another 2 runs there. Valiant effort in the field from O'Sullivan. Good desperation, didn't quite get his hand to the ball, so 2 runs to Australia. The leg side, 2 runs.
Easy runs to Dina.
The chance goes begging for New Zealand there. The ball not going to hand for O'Sullivan. A flat shot once again from Dina. There's a chance.
Kiwi field is just looking a little bit flat in the field early on, and I think that stems from the bowling. The bowling's just not on target early. The field is not quite feeling like they're in the game just yet.
Fair delivery there, so a dot ball. Guy, how much does the fact that this has been a long tournament play on make that difficult for the fielders to come into a game like this after such a long tournament and get up from ball 1?
Yeah, this tournament has been long. They played a lot of cricket over the last week. Some guys will be feeling a bit fatigued.
Fended away by Douse for 2. Dina home.
Makes it so much more important that they get on the ball early and feel like they're in the game, because those legs can get a little bit sore when they're not getting the wickets and the runs are getting on the board early.
Absolutely. Another ball just gets through the hands of O'Sullivan. Saved an extra 2 runs though.
Bit tentative, aren't they? Bit tentative, a little bit stiff.
The 13 runs come from that over. You just see there the ball, once again, going through O'Sullivan's hands.
Fantastic start by the Australian pair. They're batting really, really well, just keeping the basics, not trying to do anything away from their game plan, just really sticking to it. It's a sign of really, really good coaching from the Aussie camp.
Yeah, this side coached by Ron Olsen from Queensland. He appointed coach late due to the withdrawal of the incumbent, but has done a wonderful job with the team. 2 runs to start the over.
Yeah, Gaskin taking the 3rd over here. Another really interesting sort of call from the captain of the New Zealand side.
Another 2 runs for Dowse.
It's a little bit too easy for the Australian pair at the moment. The New Zealanders really need to get their length right.
The correct hesitation there from the Australians. They weren't certain of the run and did not take it. Smart batting.
Another wide from Gaskin there.
Aggressive shot there from Dina. Foolish delivery. It was a fairly risky shot in the end. It probably didn't go where he intended it to. But he'll take the runs. Good effort there from Collins in the front court to almost create a chance there. But this Australian pair now moving to 41 with an over and a half to play. They're in a commanding position early in this World Cup final.
Just wondering if it's a bit of a tactic by the New Zealanders just to get rid of a couple of the weaker bowlers and just resign themselves to a good partnership here and then look to place that pressure on the next 3 pairs there.
Completes the over. The score is 44 with 1 over to play. This pair is looking well on track for 50, if not 60 runs to start the final. So that tactic you referred to there, Guy, it's not a common one. It certainly comes with a high degree of risk if this pair do manage to get away with 60.
Yeah, I think maybe the tactic may have been a reasonable one to go for. It's just they probably didn't expect this many runs this early to be on the board. Incredible batting by Dana and Dowse. Really, really good start. This is a crucial over of the match already. We're seeing, real important part of the match coming up.
This is Daniel Rose bowling the 4th over for New Zealand. Can he do the job?
Captain steps up.
Great shot from the Australian captain, down up through cover point for 2 runs. Our viewers may be able to hear some noise in the arena as well. Another game happening right now. Just 2 runs to Dina adds to the Australian total. The under-20 girls grand final currently taking place also between Australia and New Zealand. So we'll keep you up to date with that result where we can. Rose continues. Great shot and a wonderful piece of fielding, but a chance goes begging for New Zealand.
They really needed that. The wicket was perfect timing there, but just not quite coming off for the Kiwis. Direct hit would have had him.
shot from Dina. Another 3 to the Australian total. This pair really taking the game away from New Zealand early. Restricted to 1. With the exception of that chance earlier in this over, these two really haven't offered the New Zealand side much.
Yeah, they've really shown a little bit of experience here. A lot of talent. I really do feel the Kiwi bowlers have let them off a little bit. They haven't placed the pressure. Their line and lengths have been a little inconsistent. So I'm sure Coach Sean Kelly will be letting them know what their jobs will be for the remaining 12 overs.
And they've got all the work to do with Australia on 57 after the first 4 overs. And coming into bat now for Australia, Travis Keys and Wade Burrows. And for those that are new to the indoor form of cricket, each batting pair will bat for 4 overs. Each over is 8 balls. Now, each player in the fielding team bowls 2 overs. Now, when a batsman gets out, 5 runs are deducted from the total. To keep things moving along, when there are 2 dot balls in a row, the third ball must see the score change. So gone are the days of maiden overs are in indoor cricket. And you'll note on your screen as well, when we take a shot of the court, there's an exclusion zone surrounding the batsman. That's to keep the fielders away from the bat that closely. Now, the nature of indoor cricket means that games can be low totals, they can be high totals, and the game is always active. It's possible for a team to be in front and still lose.
Real high pressure environment as well. It's enclosed. 10 players on the court at one time, a lot of noise.
Floyd bowling for New Zealand to Keys. Great delivery to start. Well dealt with by Keys. Just fended it out.
Yeah, this is a big over for the Kiwis. Clayton Floyd, the premier bowler of the side. Looking to shape that ball back into leg stump. Nice and full.
Got away with that. Another very good delivery. Batsman not getting anything on it. Fortunately for Travis Keys, Gaskin couldn't glove it. And they scamper through for a single.
A drop catch there?
Oh, I think it was, Guy.
So Floyd already has turned the tables here. 3 balls in a row. Really, really stepping up to the plate. The fielders not quite doing the same. Definitely a drop chance there. Showing his class, Floyd.
I don't envy the keeper, Guy, having to keep to that. That's the 4th ball in a row where he's offered up something. Very fortunate to get away with a run there, Australia.
Look at the body language of the Kiwis as well. They look like they're actually in the hunt here now. Already 4 good balls in a row, creating a little bit of pressure. 2.5 chances gone already.
This is a phenomenal over so far from Clayton Floyd. You called it early. This is the guy to watch. And a big over here. 1 wicket in this over could turn things around for New Zealand.
Look at the momentum's changed already. Floyd stepping up to the plate. Phenomenal so far.
It's well batted by Keys. He's had a good look at Clayton Floyd so far this over. Stayed patient. batted well there to take 2 runs.
Great shot under pressure.
Great delivery there, hitting Burrows on the legs.
Floyd also has a fantastic little off-cutter, looking to go into the left-handed batsman, away from the right-handed batsman. A little bit slower, pops a little bit. Really hard to pick.
Burrows only just home in the end there. But a wonderful over there to start from New Zealand. Australia, however, do still manage to take 5 runs off the over.
They've really soaked up that pressure in that over, haven't they? Fantastic 8 deliveries from Clayton Floyd, really stepping up. Wonder if we can see these Kiwis capitalise on that. Try and get that first wicket in this next over. Not too sure.
There's some concern over the state of the ball here. Umpire Paul Watson inspecting the ball. I can tell you that the Australian coach is standing over here near the umpire stand, very interested in what's happening here. It's very unusual for a ball to be replaced in a match like this, though there are rules that provide for if there is a ball failure this early in particular, New Zealand will be entitled to a brand new ball.
I mean, even just the nature of that over, but bowling so full and getting the ball squeezed out of those Yorkers, it can actually place a bit of pressure on those balls.
Reliably informed that as we're into the second pair, if this ball is replaced, it will be with an innings-old ball. We've got a couple of replacement options being given to the umpire now, so it looks as if the decision may have been made to replace it. That's extraordinary.
We're just trying to confirm if they're getting a new ball or an innings-old ball here. A little bit of confusion. This is a massive call.
Right, we've got the old ball in hand right now. There's a fairly big puncture mark in it. I think that's a pretty fair ball failure there. And the tournament officials have supplied New Zealand with a ball that is 4 overs old, so shouldn't really affect the game.
Fair replacement.
Great piece of fielding there from New Zealand, and we have our first referral of the match. Umpire Paul Watson has sent this back to the OB truck for the video umpire to inspect. What's your gut feel, Guy?
I think he's got him. Usually the cameras give the fielding side around about half a metre. That looked really close. I think Kiwis might have their first wicket.
Yeah, I tend to agree. Direct hit as well.
Fantastic piece of fielding.
I have a feeling that Wade Burrows knows he's out. There's the throw. Oh, and he's well short. We'll find our video referee will be giving this one out. Excellent piece of fielding. It came from forcing the batsman, as you said, Guy, to play flat.
Playing flat, and let's not forget that first over from Clayton Floyd, building the pressure up, creating 2-3 opportunities in his over, and look what's happened first ball of the next. The Kiwis are really looking to turn this around. Again, a really, really important part of the match here for the Kiwis. Australians under pressure.
Another good delivery from O'Sullivan. Very similar delivery. Keys this time managing to get it away for a single. Score now on 58, midway through the 5th over. Two runs to Burrows through point.
Just a bit of pressure releasing here. The Aussies are fighting back hard.
Shot there from Keys for 2. It's always the hallmark of an Australian side is you have to keep coming at them. They will rebuild. Good shot from Burrows. 2 runs high into his offside net. Absolutely no chance of a run out that time.
O'Sullivan started this over so well, but again, you know, that consistency just letting them go a little bit, making it a little bit easier for the Aussies to come back and fight back in the over.
Flat shot that time, just managed to be wide of the fielder on the 3 line. Had that one gone to hand, another chance. Two runs there. Good result there for Burrows. I'm not sure that was the intended shot.
Yeah, things are just happening for Burrows this week. He's had a fantastic tournament so far, sitting 3rd on the players list for the tournament. Handy bowler too, Burrows.
Yeah, Burrows is a young talent from regional New South Wales. Has also represented Australia in the outdoor form of the game in under-15 schoolboys. He's recently made the move to the nation's capital to be part of the high-performance system down there. He's got a big future. This is a referral. Was not even aware that there was a referral off the last ball of that over.
That's really close, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, just a frame out and looks home cam.
Yeah, I agree. It looks as if it'll be ruled safe. It has been, and that is the end of the over. That just goes to show how close those runouts can be. They might look home to the naked eye, but there was only a frame in that.
Yeah, camera technology and referrals not a regular thing for indoor cricketers. It's usually these sort of tournaments where you know, those services are provided. But wow, the runouts get stuck in really, really close. Jordan Dashfield.
Great piece of fielding in the front court there from Daniel Rose.
And when the New Zealand bowlers are getting it right in the good areas, fantastic first delivery there from Jordan, it's actually putting a bit of pressure on these Aussie bats.
Play behind square for a single. Those shots always come with an element of risk as well. If they happen to hit the net in the right place, they can come straight back to the keeper.
Absolutely.
Travis Keys getting away with that one.
Just falling short for the Kiwis. So Dashfield has created an opportunity there early.
Have a quick update for you on the under-20 girls grand final with Australia batting first, currently on 72 after 8 overs. Another single dot ball here in the boys' game. Yeah, so 72 for the girls in the Australia-New Zealand World Cup final is a wonderful start for Australia. That match will be a cracker. We'll keep you up to date. Taylor, very good here in the front court, just forward of square.
I just get a feeling in this front court here they're starting to really switch on. They're getting a couple of nice little touches and creating that running confusion with the batting pair from Australia.
Leg side releases some of the pressure. How much doubt does that put in the mind of the batsman, Guy, when the fielders are preventing most of those sort of shots from getting through? It makes it harder to run. Or commit to a run.
A lot of times when you're the batter and you've hit the ball so well, the natural instinct is just to go and to run. And then when you've got a touch like that, it can create that running confusion with your batting partner.
Very tight run there for Australia. Another good piece of fielding here in the front court for New Zealand. Could just as easily have been a direct hit run out. A dot ball to finish the over. Australia now on 75 with 1 over remaining in this second pair. This has been a good fight-back pair from New Zealand. With Australia on 57 after 4 overs, it could easily have taken the game away from them here. But New Zealand have fought back and they've kept themselves in the game.
Yeah, I agree, Cam. I think a couple of the bowlers, especially Jordan Dashfield there, and that really simple over, but getting in the right areas. One wide and the pressure release for the batsman, but really good over. It brings the fielders into play. They feel like they can actually try and produce something for the team. It's starting to become a bit of a scrap here, isn't it? It's got the sense something might happen here. The Kiwis are 1 out away.
Rose bowling now, his second over. 2 runs off the first delivery. It wasn't a bad delivery, just well played there from Burrows.
Yeah, good shot, wasn't it?
Well played from Keys for 2 runs. You can see there behind the field of the Australian team on their feet watching the game. Despite their good start, they'll all be very nervous. Burrows beaten, outside off. Once again, that ball very close to being wide, but for mine just inside the line, a fair call from the umpire. And this is now 3rd ball. So as we explained earlier, the score has to change on this delivery, either in the form of a run or an extra.
Great delivery from Rose. That's 3 in a row in really good areas. Burrows just struggling a little bit on those wide ones, swinging away.
Yeah, found the edge on that occasion. Very fortunate for that catch not to go to hand.
Fantastic cricket shot. Not a bad delivery at all, Cam. And he's bumped that away and got his down up 3. Yeah, fantastic batting from Keys.
He's certainly risen to the occasion. It's been a really tight 4 overs from New Zealand. Keys has done well.
And look at that momentum swing back onto the bowler. Down up 3, and then just put that pressure release of the wide on. Ball gets re-bowled. Actually, sorry, we're in over 7, so no.
No, this is the final over of the pair. So this leg side as well will get re-bowled. During the final over of partnerships, the batsman does have the option of having extras re-bowled. Burrow's taking it on both occasions. Why wouldn't you? And a good finish there to the over for New Zealand. Australia, however, are on 88 runs. And we'll have a small change of the commentary now. Guy, I understand you'll be back later in the game, which will be great. So thank you for your insight so far, and we'll talk to you shortly.
Thanks, Cam.
Now, coming into bat for Australia, Cooper and Taylor.
To the 95. The Aussies are...
Yeah. I'm joined now on commentary by New Zealand cricket legend Scott Styris. Hello, Scott, how are you?
Yeah, good, good. I'm looking forward to this, actually.
Yeah, fantastic game so far. It's been a fantastic tournament. You yourself have obviously played for New Zealand in the outdoor format, but also in indoor cricket.
Yeah, I have. I went to the equivalent, the World Cup in '95. That tournament was in England. It was a lot of fun, actually. My first overseas trip for cricket, so I enjoyed it.
I wonder how many New Zealand stars could be playing in this game right now that might one day don the black cap.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what I'm here to see, and hopefully there are a few. You're right. We had Andrew Hall. Andrew Hall, who played for South Africa in outdoor cricket as well. He was playing for them, so yeah, you did see it from other countries. It's good.
Now Floyd's bowling his second over for New Zealand here. The first over he bowled was a cracker. This one so far looks to be the goods.
Absolutely. Looks like from where we're sitting anyway, there's a little bit of swing in. And anytime you can swing the ball back in as a left armour, indoor or outdoor, you're always in the game.
Floyd to Cooper. And Australia scamper through for a single there. We saw Luke Taylor collide with one of the front court fielders for New Zealand. I think the umpire might have something to say about that. Yeah, umpire Watson telling the Australian batsman that it's his responsibility to go around the fielder, provided the fielder is actually fielding the ball.
I haven't seen that for a while. I always used to get in trouble for running in the batsman's way. I haven't seen the batsman get told off that often.
Yeah, you're right, it's not common. Another good delivery there from Floyd. It's put Taylor and Cooper under pressure very early. Australia in a really strong position so far, but a fight back from New Zealand could turn the game.
Exactly. Those opening two batsmen impressive, weren't they? I mean, what they did is they silenced the New Zealand fielders, they silenced the crowd, they gave them no chance, didn't really give them a sniff, no opportunities for outs. And they put on a big partnership, which pretty much takes the pressure off those next two coming in.
Without question, and Dowse and Dino are certainly the two batsmen to do the job for Australia there. Catch goes down for New Zealand. Collins putting down a reasonably simple chance, I would think.
Yeah, well, that's what you see when you don't get that many opportunities. When they do come, sometimes you're not quite expecting it. And New Zealand have had their chances. They've had 3 or 4 opportunities to take wickets, and they haven't taken them. And I think that's come because they've been quite spaced out. They haven't been in a row, and they haven't been able to get on that roll.
Just outside off there. And a dot ball. 1 ball to come in the over. It's been another great one from Floyd. And that's 2 dot balls to finish the over. So the first ball of the next over will be 3rd ball. That'll be a crucial delivery, I would think, for New Zealand. If they can get a wicket off that delivery, the skin is in play. Really might be the occasion that they need to turn the match around.
Yeah, New Zealand need a partnership where it's kept around the 0 mark or even in the negatives just to get themselves back into the game. I thought after that first partnership, they actually fought back quite nicely. But then the Aussies sort of regrouped, and the last 2 overs of that second quarter were impressive again.
Gaskin with the job for New Zealand. Well done from Cooper. Played it flat, but managed to get through for the 2 runs and see off 3rd ball safely. I believe that was called fair. Dot ball. That one, however, was a leg side. 2 runs for Australia. They're real pressure relievers, those.
Oh, absolutely. When you aren't scoring off every delivery, when you get a wide, it just sort of makes you calm down, and you're able to take a couple of deep breaths and just relax.
Very flat batting there from Australia. Created an opportunity there for New Zealand. The throw to the top stumps probably a little bit too high and wide for there to be a run-out chance.
You know, I know we've talked already about that opening partnership, but that's what they did well. They hit the top of the net all day. New Zealand fielders. Oh, it's good awareness. Very good awareness. Taking the back up, the misfield at the back.
Certainly can't fault Gaskin for having a shy at the stumps there. Would have been close.
Yeah.
Smart calling there from the Australians. They're not taking any silly risks. They don't really need to.
No, exactly. It's actually one of the parts of the game that I've noticed already that's been different from those many years ago. We probably, back in the day, used to run on all of those. Probably why we were dismissed a lot more than these guys were.
The lowest scores in the 95 World Cup, would you say? The team totals were lower?
Yeah, a little bit, but the game has changed a little bit too because of the ball mainly. I know it's been a long time now. The pivot hasn't been in play, but it used to be really hard like an outdoor cricket ball. So there was a bit more pace to the bowling, and you could use the pace a little bit more, and it didn't sort of sit in the wicket as much. So when I say the wicket, you know, obviously the carpet still, but
yeah.
It just enabled, I guess, the bowlers a little bit more ability to bowl quicker and hit the top of the bat.
With 10 overs gone, Australia on 104 runs and still very much in the box seat. New Zealand have it all to do here. They really need to convert some of these chances that they're creating, and I think, as you said earlier, Scott can create them a little bit more consistently. We have another update for you from the girls' grand final between Australia and New Zealand, and Australia there doing the job as well. They're now on 120 runs after 12 overs, so with 4 overs to play, they're in a really commanding position. We've got a review here. It's interesting, the crowd reaction to the umpire's decision to send that for review was, why would you do that? But I think as this is about to illustrate, they're often a lot closer than we think.
Yeah, and this is another part of the game that wasn't around, you know, many years ago, but it's good, I think. You know, anytime you can get the decision right, and look at that. Wow, you're right, it is a lot closer than you initially thought.
So, the bail looks to me to be starting to move in that frame. It's definitely up in that one, and his bat is on the line. And that is out, ladies and gentlemen. That is out, and that is a perfect example of why the umpire is going to send all of the close ones for review.
Yeah, it's a good decision. At the end of the day, that's what you're after. And New Zealand certainly need a couple more of those. If they can keep them to 90 to 100, you just never know when they come to that last partnership.
That's a good call there from Cooper to call Taylor through for the run. It's definitely his call. It was a good job. Another flat shot from Cooper. New Zealand fielders not up to the task there. That was a chance.
Yeah, again, same thing, wasn't it? You mentioned earlier about the ball being kept nice and low, and what that does is bring the fielders into the game, even when you play a nice shot. But he couldn't take it cleanly, and the opportunity goes begging.
There's another flat shot. It was a better cricket shot, but again, that's the sort of thing that I would expect to go to hand in a game like this.
Yeah, and I think later in the day when the men's team come out, you'll see those opportunities taken, and that's why under 20s, it's a development level, and it's great to watch because there's still plenty of skills on show. But the skill level of these guys, especially around the bat in that front court, they're exceptional.
The fourth ball in a row that the Australians have played a flat shot. 2 in a row have basically gone straight back to the bowler, and now they're on third ball. Good tight bowling from Taylor. Just wide of the fielder on the 3 line. Another 2 runs for the total. Scott, it's interesting to note the third time these two teams played each other during the tournament. Australia put on a massive 160. New Zealand nearly chased it down. Needed 7 runs off the last 2 balls and lost a wicket with 1 ball to go. You know, Australia on 107 here and looking good for a big total, but it's not outside of New Zealand's grasp.
And the New Zealanders will know that. That's the best thing. They'll know even if Australia, no matter what they get, they're still in the game. And part of that's belief. You've still got to believe no matter what they get, we can chase it down. Don't get too far ahead of yourselves. If you worry about what you're doing, then the next partnership worry about what they're doing. Then the game suddenly becomes a little bit easier. So 109, a little more than they would like, but still well in control.
As Perrott comes on to bowl for New Zealand. The captain. Short and outside off stump and dealt with accordingly. 2 runs from Taylor. Need to be much tighter here.
So of these Australian guys, how many have you seen before, and how many of you think you can move on and make that next step up to the men's side in the next couple of years?
Well, I certainly mentioned Jamie Dina earlier. He, in my view, was unlucky not to be picked in the Australian men's team this year. So he's certainly a future prospect. The I guess the unfortunate thing for a lot of the Australian players in this side is that the system in Australia has got so much depth that some of these players may even struggle to make their state open men's team. As we see an unforgivable mix-up there from Australia, an easy wicket gifted to New Zealand.
A bit of miscommunication, wasn't it? It's the first time we've really seen the Australian batsmen out of sync with each other. Good delivery, nice and straight. And you can see both of them stop-start. In the end, pretty comfortable.
New Zealand will certainly take soft outs like those. It's 2 runs to the total. But yeah, other than Dina, Ryan Dowse, the Australian captain, he's obviously a talent. I would expect to see him playing in the Queensland Open team in future years. Those two certainly have big opportunities. There's a fair period of renewal happening in the Australian men's team as well, so I think there'll be a lot of opportunity for these younger guys to step up in the next couple of years, particularly at the next World Cup.
Of course, Australia have always been strong in this version of the game. And in my view, the reason for that is they just seem to do the basics so well. Everybody knows their role, knows their plan. It's the opportunities they present or don't present to the opposition.
And I think Ross Gregory certainly deserves a lot of credit for that. The Australian coach, the Australian men's coach, as well as the Queensland cricket system. They're the strongest, historically the strongest state in Australia in terms of indoor cricket. And the regimented systems that they have in place have produced some quality indoor cricketers over the years. As the partnership comes to an end, Australia on 119 runs, with Ben Oakley and Matt Schubert coming in to close the innings, both quality batsmen. New Zealand really need to work hard in these last 4 overs. If they can keep Australia to less than 130, 140, they'd probably be happy with that, particularly after 57 off the first batting pair.
Yeah, and the big notice, or the big difference for me so far has been the energy that New Zealand had at the start versus the energy they have now. And it's normally a good indication as to the direction of the game. If New Zealand was still upbeat, lots of noise, the hand claps, then you know that the game's, or they feel like they're in the game. And at the moment, they're just chasing it a little bit.
As you can see the scorecard there so far, Ryan Dowse 25, Jamie Dina top scoring with 32. Only 3 wickets have fallen in the entirety of the innings. So another interesting point here on the scorecard is that each batting pair has shared the scoring around. No one's really been doing the driving in each pair. All batsmen contributing to the total.
Yeah, and that's why I mentioned a little earlier, the first bit of miscommunication we've seen. These guys look like they've, I guess, used to each other. They're well schooled in how to bat in partnerships. And no matter what version of the game, partnerships are always key. Australians so far have been very good at it.
Wicket off the first ball. And it was a miscommunication, but I can certainly understand why Schubert ran, made good contact off the bat. Probably thought he had it through the field. But New Zealand's fielder, Daniel Rose, blocked the ball.
It was incredible fielding, wasn't he? He was nice and close. Quickly got the tap back to the keeper.
An immediate pressure release with the leg side off the following delivery.
That kills you, doesn't it? You've made a great start. And then, all of a sudden, a couple of runs.
They're coach killers.
Yeah.
Leg sides after wickets. And a good answer from Schubert. He's hit that for 3 runs, and all of a sudden the wickets are raced. It's as if it didn't happen.
Yeah, that's it. We had a leg side wide, then we had the half volley. And you're right, so you just pull your hair out at that sort of stuff. You just think, if I can put it on a length again, get those fielders at the front, they somehow have to get them involved in the game.
Good delivery.
Yeah, better length, wasn't it?
Yeah. It's given Oakley a look at what's coming. Great shot from Oakley. Another 3 runs to Schubert. Blair Oakley, 2 runs. And despite the wicket off the first ball, still 9 runs from that over. That was a really smart fight back from Australia.
Yeah, they didn't panic, did they? I mean, the wide just settled the nerves, that second ball after the wicket. And then they were able to play. Unfortunately, there were a few, from New Zealand's perspective anyway, there were a few half volleys in there. They were able to take, or hit the ball into the back half, the back court. 9 runs just means that Australia keep on rolling.
Now, Blair Oakley and Matt Schubert, batting partners today, but played against each other in the under-20s grand final at the National Championships in Australia this year. Blair Oakley actually hit the winning runs in that game for Western Australia. The dot ball to start the over from O'Sullivan.
And how strong is the Australian system over in WA? You mentioned Queensland being, I guess, the powerhouse traditionally, but WA.
Western Australia have, for a long time, been, particularly at the junior level, the team to beat. They've got an excellent system over there, and as someone from the ACT, I'm very envious of the depth that they have. A lot of depth of talent. Their open men's side won a number of titles over the last 10-year period. 2 runs from Schubert. And with their under-20s team taking out the national title this year, only bodes well for the future for them. So, arguably second only to Queensland in terms of recent success. Blair Oakley hits another 2 off his legs. Smart cricket shot.
I think it takes a lot of discipline. You get a half volley on leg stump like that. Sometimes your natural instinct's just to play a half volley through the leg side, but that would mean keeping the ball low and the fielders are in the game. It was a nice shot from Oakley because he just waited for that little longer and hit it nice and high. Gave the fielders no chance.
I'm often asked, Scott, about the difference between indoor and outdoor batting techniques, and for mine, the point you just made illustrates it. It's all about timing. For me, it's no different between playing a lofted shot or a flat shot. You're playing it later rather than earlier.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's also down to the style of player you are. When I was playing, I was more of an outdoor batsman who played a lot of shots, so therefore I would still try to play hitting the ball into the back court because that was the way I played. I didn't want to change as well to be a down-up sort of a player. So, you know, I think you've got to identify what style of player you are and then enhance those skills.
3 points, 3 runs to Schubert, and that's an excellent point, Scott. We often see the problem with a lot of junior indoor cricketers in particular is they come in thinking that they have to play the ball down up. Yeah. That's certainly not the case. Dot ball there, and a quick update from the under-20s girls grand final. Australia have posted a score of 155. Now, the 2 times that side has met, New Zealand have won both of those games, and the scores have been in the 120s. So, in a grand final, that is a huge score for Australia, a massive score, and New Zealand have a massive task ahead of them to chase that down.
Yeah, there's scoreboard pressure. Again, the version of the game doesn't change. A grand final, runs on the board. I think Australia most definitely are in front.
And in the boys, Australia 138, 2 overs remaining. This Australia can really take the game away from New Zealand in these last 2 overs. If they can get through them without losing a wicket, you would think they'll put at least 15, if not 20 runs on, and they're looking at 150 plus.
Yeah, from New Zealand's perspective, I think their bowling has been a little lack penetration in the first 2 overs of this partnership. We've seen a lot of floaty half volleys. And even if they change, like we saw a little slow leg cutter there, that's really good. It's intelligent. It just doesn't mean the batsman can sit on it. He has to work and think a little bit about where he's going to score his runs. The last 2 bowlers, half volleys meant that it became pretty easy.
Scamper through for a single. Jordan Bashfield bowling the penultimate over here.
He's been impressive. He started well. It's just something a little different, isn't it? It's not... Some of the bowlers try and swing the ball, and he's just rolling his fingers across it, hitting a good length.
Two runs there. Australia moving to 141. I think these batsmen have a sense of, I don't need to do anything silly, just get through these next 2 overs without losing a wicket. Job done. And a great shot from Schubert.
Yeah, that was his change-up, wasn't it? Little outswinger. But once again, we saw it probably a little bit too full. And his Australian batsmen are well and truly proficient enough to just take the easy runs on offer.
New Zealand complaining there that the ball didn't touch the side net. Not certain whether it did or not, but it often can happen where it hits the top net and comes straight down without hitting the side and therefore robbing the bonus runs. And Bashfield going for a man-cad there. Blair Oakley hadn't moved.
That brings back memories. I've seen that a lot. Some people take great pleasure in that. And I also know some ex-indoor cricketers who set themselves a total. They want to get 10 man-cads each season.
It's possibly fair to say, Scott, that I have a little bit of a reputation as a man-cadder, but the beauty of having that reputation is that no one backs up because they know I'm going to man-cad them.
Exactly. So. It's good.
1 over to play. Australia 145.
This is a big over, I think, because the game is still about momentum. And if New Zealand have a good over, then they can take some confidence from that, take that momentum of finishing this innings well into their batting. If Australia do this nicely, then the same applies for them. And Australia will know with runs on the board, all they have to do is the basics well, and they should have enough.
Two runs to start the over.
I like that length, Oakley, as well. I'm never ever going to criticise those of us who are full of figured, if you like. But if they can keep the ball in the front court and then throw it back over the top, I think, he's not the quickest runner between the wickets. You certainly pick your ends, don't you?
Definitely. That's an extra 2 runs there and an extra delivery for Australia. Probably a correct call there from Blair Oakley. The ball ended up going to hand, so there was no run there. Dot ball. Another dot ball. So it's now third ball, and the score must change. New Zealand really need to convert this to a wicket.
Yeah, we've seen them have a few opportunities on the third ball, but not convert any of them. And that's it again. It's who's going to crack first under pressure. He's bowled two fantastic length deliveries. And on the most important one, he just sort of floats up that half volley outside off.
And dealt with accordingly.
Exactly. It's nice batting.
He follows it up with a leg side. The New Zealand captain really letting Australia take the game away from them here. We're going to see another referral here. What do you think?
Yeah, as they've been closer, I would have thought he'd be back. But you never know, the bat bounces and things, especially when you dive.
I think that bat's fairly safely down. It looks to me like he's home.
Yeah.
So the bail's up and the bat's down.
Yeah, I think you have to call that safe.
Yeah, not out is the decision. But you're quite right, Scott. That's always the danger with a dive. The bat will bounce. You often see batsmen diving with the bat on an angle that it's actually in the air, even though it's across the line. So very much worth the referral there from umpire Watson. Schubert with another 2 runs for the total. Australia now on 158 with 1 ball remaining in the innings. Further 2 runs to the total. And Australia have finished on 160 runs in the final of the Under-20s World Cup. What a massive total, Scott.
Yeah, exactly. It is. Runs on the board in a final. That's what it's all about. Australia have scored 160 against this team.
Yeah, as you say, Scott, that last game, 160 runs, was the total. We may see another big chase here from New Zealand.
Yeah, at least they've got experience of it. They'll know how to go about it. But as I say, it's very much like the outdoor game. You worry about your own performance, you and your partner. We saw some good communication. We saw some good teamwork together amongst the Australians. For New Zealand to have any chance of that, they've got to do the same sorts of things.
As we see Australian coach Ron Olsen head on to the court with his team for some last-minute instructions. Let's take another quick look at the scorecard. Jamie Diener, the 32 runs to top scorer in the innings. Both Blair Oakley and Ryan Dowse also putting in over 20. But as I said earlier, the scoring's been shared around all of the batsmen and only the loss of 4 wickets throughout the entire innings. It's a wonderful performance from Australia.
Yeah. Yeah, the 4 wickets certainly is the part where the New Zealanders will feel like they've let themselves down. They had opportunities to, I guess, double that at least. But with only 4 wickets, you can't expect the score to be kept down to something manageable. 160, the Australians will certainly feel like they're well on top.
Well, Scott, thank you very much for your insight. I understand you're going to take a break from commentary now and join us again a bit later.
Absolutely.
It's been wonderful to have you. We'll talk to you soon.
Cheers.
We see the New Zealand players there filing into the stands, knowing that they've got a massive task ahead of them to chase down 160 runs in a final. I'm joined once again by Guy Coleman. Guy, been off commentary but watching the game. What do you think?
Well, I think the Aussies have done the basics, and I think there's a lot to be said for runs on the board. New Zealand's got a really, they've got a big job ahead of them, but they had a game last night against the other New Zealand Colt side last night and put 160 on the board. So it's certainly not out of their reach, but the pressure is definitely on, and congratulations Australia so far for doing a pretty clinical job on New Zealand.
Guy, you've played at the international level. How does a team go about assembling a chase of this size? Do they go hard early? Is it the plan for the opening pairs to come in and just put on 30 and give the last pairs the opportunity to really post big totals, or do we need this opening pair to come out with 40 plus?
Oh, I think they do, but you're setting your small targets and just trying to achieve those over by over. I don't think you can go into games like this and continually look at the 160-odd runs on the board that they're trying to chase. If you do that, I think mentally you're going to stuff yourself over a little bit. So I think this opening pair will just be looking to do their job, stay within their processes, stay within their game plans, and as long as they don't go away from that, they can just apply that pressure back onto Australia. If New Zealand can start building a total, minimise those outs, don't let the Australian fielders feel like they're in the game, then you never know what can happen. That pressure can, Australia's in a position now where they should win this game. And if it looks like that perhaps that's going to get compromised, then you never know what could happen inside the head.
Absolutely. Now, Rose and O'Sullivan have the massive task of opening the batting for New Zealand. And it looks as if Luke Taylor will bowl the first over for Australia.
Luke Taylor being one of their premier bowlers here, so they're starting off strong, Australia. Let's just hope that Rose and O'Sullivan can be up to the task.
Here we go, the chase starts now. Great shot from Rose to start.
Wow, what a start. Down up 3 from Dan Rose. Good delivery too from Taylor.
I think called 2 runs. It looked like 3 from here to me as well, but 2 runs.
Sure did.
We should point out we are sitting below the umpire, but pretty close to the side net, so it's probably a lot harder for us to see that 3 line than it is for Paul Watson. As Taylor continues. Great shot. Quick update again from the under-20s girls grand final. New Zealand, 44 runs for the first pair in their chase of 155. So that's exactly the start that they would want to get off to. It's going to be a fantastic finish over there. We'll bring you results as we get them.
Look, I've got to tell you, TV coverage probably doesn't quite show the pace of the bowlers sometime, but Taylor's quick. He's really getting it through.
That's a really good delivery and really well dealt with by Rose. He's an impressive batsman.
Yeah, looks like he's handling that pace okay. Possibility of a run there. They need to get these runs on the board. Nice shot by Rose.
2 runs. What's going to be interesting is that if this game is to go down to the wire, we're not going to see that many wickets. So it'll be interesting to see if Australia can stay up in the field and with the ball, given that they won't be having, they won't enjoy the momentum. That's a wonderful delivery from Taylor.
Really nice late shape back in. Really nice.
Sullivan surprised it wasn't called wide, but that late movement, as you say, legal delivery. A single there to finish the over. 7 runs from the first over, so not a bad start.
Yeah, not a bad result from the Kiwi pair. Taylor really is their go-to bowler for Australia, and they've dealt with him okay. Be interested to see how Australia take this from here. Kiwis just really needed to stick to their processes here. Don't go away from that game plan. Get the ball high in the net, get themselves some safe runs.
Now, Rose is the leading run scorer for this side so far. It's the right man to have out there.
Yeah, look who they've gone to bowl here, Burrows. So they're really trying to put the pressure on the Kiwi batsman early.
Good shot and a good piece of fielding in the front court there from Blair Oakley. Didn't affect the wicket, but that always tells the batsman that they've got a motor. Australia will keep coming. There's always a chance of a run out.
Yeah, nothing short of skills up front.
We've had this one sent to a referral. Now, the interesting thing for me is the dive there was probably the wrong option from Rose. He seemed to me to slow down as he was getting into the crease, so that may have cost him 5 runs.
I think the Aussies have really picked up early as well on these replays. Really giving themselves opportunities for run-outs here. And again, look how close this is.
Yeah, he's home. He is home. But as you say, it's down to the wire. And not only do the Australians know there's a close chance they can appeal for, but New Zealand have to know that every run-out's going to be that close. They've just got to absolutely motor him. The dive from Rose, as I said, actually slowed him down as he was making his ground. So either don't dive or dive later. You can see already Blair Oakley didn't get a hand to it, but put enough doubt in the fielders' minds that the run was a little bit hesitant.
3-line fielder Cooper coming through there to stop the ball hitting the net as well, so it's just the 1 run.
Burrows continues. Another great shot from Clive Rose. You have to forgive me, Clive Rose is an Australian player and I'm still in Australian mode. Daniel Rose. I'm really impressed by his batting. I can see why he is the top leading run scorer for the side. He's a quality batsman. And 2 runs added by O'Sullivan, and take nothing away from him. He's no slouch either.
Burrows is Burrows just off his line just a little bit. I think he wants to be trying to get a little bit fuller. He's shaping the ball back in really nicely. That length's just letting him down just a touch.
Cooper once again really down into that front court, which is good to see. It's good aggressive fielding from the Australians.
How about that technique from Rose as well? Really straight bat, hitting the ball really late into the ground. Nice safe runs.
It's a hallmark of a good batsman that can not only hit down-up runs on the leg side, but the way he moved his entire body into position to be able to play that shot.
He's opened up his shoulders really nicely there.
The New Zealand side moved to 20 after 2 overs and off to an excellent start.
Haven't gone away from their game plan. They've just stuck to their guns. Nice, safe down-up shots. Hitting the front court really, really nicely. And they've set themselves a really good foundation so far. Haven't seen too much variation from the Aussie bowlers so far. Just trying to think they're struggling with their lengths a little bit like the Kiwis did early on in their first partnership as well in bowling. So far just looking for swing. Be interesting to see when the bowlers later on whether they start seeing a few little off-cutters, leg cutters coming in, those variations.
And Blair Oakley is the bowler for Australia. Rose to face his first ball. Reasonable hands there from Taylor. Didn't take it cleanly, but certainly stopped it and stopped any chance of a run.
And Rose really hitting that ball well.
So, worth noting the previous delivery, guys have said Rose has hit that ball really well. A lot of batsmen, when they make that kind of contact, they just take off. But he was smart enough to respond to the field and get back home.
Really stepping up under this pressure as well, isn't he?
Just a single.
Yep.
Scoreboard continues to tick over.
I like the look of O'Sullivan as well. He's supporting Dan Rose really, really well. Guys working together really well as a partnership. 23 on the board. Rose missing out.
He knows it too. Just in front of us here, we saw him turn around. He knows he missed out on some runs there.
Interesting tactic here from Oakley, coming around the wicket here with his in-swingers. Be looking to target him at that leg stump, I believe.
Good call, Guy. That's exactly what happened. You'll see as well, we've got 2 fielders here on the legs of Daniel Rose. Smart tactics there from the Australian side and well bowled. Interestingly enough, the 2 fielders are now over on the offside.
Right. Bit of confusion here in the field. Getting that right. Interesting to see how Rose deals with this.
That was 3rd ball. Great bowling there from Oakley. New Zealand batsman was smart to just get through for the single there after Rose was unable to get bat on it.
Desperate dive by O'Sullivan there. Big chance for the Aussies to get a wicket.
He would have been out too.
Keeper not quite gathering it in. Great shot, O'Sullivan. Just building this scoreboard up. Last ball of the over coming up.
He's copped him right in the back of the head there, I think.
It's well fielded by Taylor. I'm not sure that throw was really that necessary. They weren't taking the run. It's apologetic there, which is good to see. A good sign from Taylor.
Just have a look here. Where does this hit him? Because it's right on the back of the head.
Yeah, it's nasty.
Yeah, just on the neck there. So, I mean, the throw wasn't the hardest in the world, but that's exactly the place you don't want to get hit.
Yeah, ball's a little bit softer from the outdoor balls, but yeah, no, you don't want to wear one of those on the back of the head. Dan Rose going to have to shake that off. That'll probably steal his resolve a little bit.
Quick drink of water and some instructions from the coach. 26 runs after 3 overs. They're batting well. If they can maintain this, New Zealand are off to the perfect start in what will have to be a huge run chase. You see the crowd building up here at Hutt Indoor Sports, not only for this game, but also the under-20 girls game happening over on court number 3. And later on, the Open Women's World Final and the Open Men's World Final, both of which will also feature Australia and New Zealand. And Matt Schubert here bowling the 4th over of the innings for Australia to O'Sullivan.
A little bit different here, so a leg spinner coming in and Schubert, the keeper. So bowling with that newer ball as well, Cam. Usually early on overs are for those swing bowlers, but they've decided to go for the slower pace, making it a little bit different for the Kiwi batsman. Interesting tactic.
Well fielded from Taylor.
Yeah, Taylor's looking sharp there, isn't he? Defending that line really, really well. I think there's a chance there for 2 or 3 to get through Taylor, but he's been exemplary there. And
on occasions like that, even where you're just saving 1 run, in a chase like this, they all add up. And every run Australia can save is a run worth of pressure on New Zealand. Great use of the feet from O'Sullivan. Well played for 2.
Schubert just twisting his ankle there a little bit. Looks like he'll be okay.
Yeah, he is limping. You're right.
Not sure what's happened there. I think it's in his delivery stride. Just landed on it badly.
Interesting to see how it affects his bowling here.
Called good by Paul Watson. Crucial stage of the match.
And nearly through for 5. Gina quite happy to just swat it away for 3, saves 2 runs. We'll check in quickly with the Under-20 Girls Grand Final, where New Zealand's second pair have posted 37. So they're now on 81 runs, chasing 155. It's game on, ladies and gentlemen, in the Under-20 Girls Grand Final. Sounds like the pressure's on Australia there. New Zealand motoring along.
Hugely impressed with those Under-20 girls. The standard and the level that those girls have at their age, unbelievable.
Great shot from Rose.
And the leg spinner Schubert, I think this is played against Australia a little bit. Dan Rose and O'Sullivan really handling the pressure.
Final ball. Smart batting from O'Sullivan. That has a wonderful opening partnership from New Zealand. That is just what the doctor ordered. 39 runs from Rose and O'Sullivan. And that's par.
Classic opening partnership from O'Sullivan and Rose. Huge amount of pressure with that sort of score on the board, Cam. 161. So easy to keep your eyes on that target and think you've got to do a little bit more. But these 2 boys, they've just stuck to their guns, stuck to their processes. Look to play real safe cricket around the front court. When the opportunities arise, they play the ball flat along the ground and try and get those bigger runs down the back of the court. That never quite eventuated. Noticeable that Australia didn't get a wicket in that partnership either. They didn't do any damage. So really, really impressive with Rose and O'Sullivan.
And perhaps just as important as the runs that they scored is the fact that they've illustrated for the remaining 3 batting pairs exactly what it takes. Fairly chanceless batting, went at the right shots, the right balls to hit into the back court. As you say, if the remaining 3 pairs can produce the same attitude to the run chase, then it's absolutely game on here. And we see that Floyd and Dashfield here batting in the second pair. Do we have much mail on them as bats?
Look, Clayton Floyd actually is an all-round player. I mean, arguably the best player in the side. fantastic seam bowler that we saw. He's bowled 2 amazing overs in the field without much reward. But Clayton can bat too. Clayton's a really good bat. He's got a fantastic technique. Really likes the ball coming on. He plays with really soft hands. Dashfield is one of those really... He's a scrapper. He's a real scrapper. I think one of the big thing for this partnership is they're actually really good mates. They've spent a lot of time together in the indoor scene and are just good mates, so their communication should be bang on. I'll go back to your point though, Cam, that I think that the leading opening partnership there really showed how it's got to be done. These two just have to keep going in the same regard, no flashy stuff, keep playing in the front court, and don't let Australia in the game with any wickets.
Just a short delay here in the start of the second batting pair as Matt Schubert from Australia got some attention for that ankle. Team support officer Ross came out to help him out. We should be ready to get underway shortly. Now, worth noting, both Floyd and Dashfield have scored over 100 runs for New Zealand so far in the tournament, so that lends itself to exactly what you were saying, Guy. And I think if they're good mates, as you say, they should understand each other's game pretty well. Hopefully we won't see any run-outs here for New Zealand.
Me too.
Dina to bowl for Australia, the 5th over of the innings to Clayton Floyd. Great start. Be interested to see the replay on this. Do you think he got any bat on that guy?
Just a real meaty sort of sound of the thigh, I think.
Yeah. That's a fantastic call from the umpire. Really difficult to call from behind the play.
It's a really good line so far from Dana.
It's now 3rd ball straight away. Change up there.
Not sure quite the right option, taking the pressure off. Too easy for Floyd.
You see it all too often where a bowler will beat a batsman twice with a great ball and then change it. Why would you change it? I don't understand. Probably wasn't Schubert's ball. Got in the way of Oakley fielding it, but there was no run out on either way.
Go switching to 2 on the leg side again. Might just see that line continually going into leg pole.
Far outside of it, getting his line wrong there. Oh, you're spot on in terms of what he's attempting to do, Guy.
Execution of the Australians, it's interesting. They just seem to be a little bit off their game, especially with the bowling. We've had some real good bowlers bowl so far, and they're just not quite hitting the marks. Better, much better.
How much of that, Guy, do you think comes down to the fact that it's World Cup final pressure?
Absolutely. Yeah. We can't forget these guys are all under 20. Most of them in their first World Cup, biggest game of their lives. So so far in their short career.
We've sent that one for review. The naked eye looked well home to me.
Camera's going to play funny tricks on us, though, aren't they?
It certainly is. Once again, you never know with a dive as well. The bat could have been in the air. Certainly worth reviewing.
Looks good, Cam.
Yeah. Oh, look at that. The bat.
Cam, you've called it, haven't you?
The bat is in the air.
What are they going to call here?
The bat's down in this frame. But by the time the bails are lifted, it looks to me that his bat has popped up.
What's Watson going to call here?
The 3rd umpire has given it out, ladies and gentlemen.
Massive call. Massive call.
I can understand why Floyd feels a little bit upset about that, but he's shaking his head. The reality is he did what he had to do to get home, but it was out. The bat had popped up. Crucial wicket. Crucial wicket. Good response from Dashfield, just quite happy to take a single. Brings their first over to an end.
Good hit on the shoulders, Jordan Dashfield. And again, he's just got that attitude, just real scrappy, fighter, not going to let anything go. Can't afford to let that early wicket affect them.
Already over at the side net, getting some instructions from their coach. Looks to me like he might have a little bit of mail on the Australian bowlers, so briefing them on what to expect here from Cooper. It's funny, I've noticed that from more or less every team competing in every division at this tournament so far, is that there's been a lot of opposition research. Gone are the days where it's the batsmen just responding to what they get bowled to. They're coming into a game with a fair bit of knowledge about what to expect. Just a single to start, a dot ball to start the other. Now the flow-on effect of that is that we're seeing teams and players withhold some things until these sorts of games. So it'll be interesting to see if any of the Australian bowlers have any tricks up their sleeve.
Yeah, tournament cricket does that. You need to hide some cards up your sleeve, that's for sure. Great start by Cooper. Little off spinners, quite flat. Not all that easy to play those and bounce them up and get them into to the top of the nets.
He's put them on third ball straight away.
Great start by Cooper.
And it's out. Oh,
off the arm, Cam.
Must have been.
He's gone for a replay.
There. No, he's referred it, has he? Very good.
I think you could be right though, Cam. I think this might have come off the glove.
Ooh.
Missed by a long way. Wow. Looked a lot closer in real time.
Unless it's... I'm not sure if we'll see that again, but unless it's hit the glove on the way through...
Easy catch for Blair Oakley.
Did hear two sounds, but it could be that it's hit both of his forearms. Say that the video umpire wants to see some more angles. Here we go.
Might have a better angle just here.
The Australians reacting based on what they're seeing on the big screen as if that has hit the glove, but look, I'm not sure that there's enough evidence there that the third umpire will be able to give that out.
We're seeing a deflection off the bat there, are we? Does that come off the top edge of the bat? On the side on replay.
Look, the side on replay looked like there was nowhere near it, but this angle certainly does show it.
Like you say, I mean, has umpire Paul Watson got enough evidence here to give this out? Could have made contact there.
Well, once again, our position, we are just to the right of the shot that you can see on the screen behind the court. And certainly my view of that live was that was out. I didn't even hesitate to call it out until I realised the umpire hadn't given it out.
Front on view here.
My gut guy tells me that it's out.
I think he said that.
I just don't think there's enough evidence there.
Correct.
For the video umpire to give it out. So sounds like it's been given not out. That's the word from the broadcast truck. And umpire Paul Watson signals.
Bit of disappointment on the Australian players. We could all see the replay there on the big screen. But due respect to Paul Watson, I think that's a good decision. A little bit too inconclusive. We move on. Again, Cooper really, he's putting some pressure on already early in this over, isn't he?
He sure is. Now, it's the video umpire for this game, I believe, is Michael Guest from Australia. So Michael Guest would have obviously had a good, hard, long look at that, and in the end, I think made the right decision based on the evidence. And he's been bowled around his legs, played onto the stumps.
Well-deserved wicket from Cooper. Immaculate 5 deliveries. Clayton Floyd looking for the sweep shot there. It's a strange shot for indoor cricket. And he's pulling it back onto his leg stump.
He'll be disappointed with himself there. New Zealand just need to regroup. These two batsmen need to keep their head, keep the score building forward. And Floyd responds perfectly.
Great comeback, down up 3. And again, just basics, Cam. Just going back to basic, straight bat, hitting the ball late.
As you can see there, he's turned around and played it straight onto his leg stump. And an easy run out for Australia. These two, the wheels falling off early in this over. Cooper doing the job for Australia.
Yeah, incredible over. Bowling from Cooper. He's really creating opportunities for his fielders. Superb display.
There's a case there of Floyd not looking at his partner.
Score change. In the big.
2 runs from Floyd. Another update from the under-20 girls grand final. Australia have actually suffered a misconduct penalty and have had their total reduced to 150, which hurts. New Zealand, however, only managing 25 for the third pair, so they're on 106 after 12 overs. That means they have 4 overs to score 45 runs to win the World Cup final. That will go down to the wire. We'll try and get a score update with 1 over to go to let you know where things are at.
The under-20 girls final. That's been a game that's been really looked forward to by a lot of people this week. Again, the talent in that grade has just been exemplary. New Zealand's youngest player being 13-year-old Amelia Kerr, who has been penciled as being pretty much the next superstar of New Zealand indoor cricket.
That's phenomenal. That is absolutely phenomenal. And I have to say, Guy, as much as I'm enjoying this game here, I'm a little bit envious that we don't get to watch that game. You can certainly hear the crowd going wild over there. Lots of talent on display as Keys bowls for Australia in the under-20 men's final.
Taylor, incredible piece of fielding there, back flicking, just missing the stumps.
Dashfield would have been found wanting.
Huge amount of pressure on Clayton Floyd here. What's he got up his sleeve?
So with this pair only on 1 run in their second over, at what point do you think they need to start really getting more aggressive?
They're going to have to start looking at what they can do a little bit different, and that's the pressure being applied by that Cooper over. Both Floyd and Dashfield now have to go, right, what's our game plan B here? Processes haven't been working. They've got themselves in a position now where they have to start looking for those bigger runs, but do it as risk-free as possible.
Number 1 to the total.
Australian bowling's really stepped up in this partnership too. I think they've been coached from the sideline here. They've changed their game plans a little bit, changed their areas. Executing really, really well.
Kept to 1. Score moves to 42. This partnership, though, still on 3 runs.
Keys just taking the pace off the ball there. Really effective. See those change-up balls just starting to come out now, Cam, that we talked about earlier on. And then sliding one past Floyd. Really good bowling. That's impressive.
-8 first over.
Wonderful over from Australia in the first over of the final pair in the under-20 girls grand final. -8 runs coming from it. So Australia are now very much in the box seat there. New Zealand will need 53 runs, I think now. I said 45 they needed before. 53 runs off 3 overs. Sounds like Australia may have gotten home, but still a bit early to say that. I know that New Zealand have got the firepower. Might sound unlikely, but they can get it done. So still a big finish over there. And in this game, as you can see, the Australian captain Ryan Dowse to bowl for his country to Dashfield. Played behind square for a single.
Yeah, just getting beat for a bit of pace there on the pull shot.
Played through the gap by Floyd with 2 runs.
Really noticeable how Australia's starting to use these change-up deliveries to effect. Taking the pace off the ball, just doing something a little bit different, forcing the batsmen to have to play somewhere a little bit different, change their game plan as well. Pressure's just building again on Dashfield.
With 2 runs, takes the total up to 47. I get the feeling, Guy, that these two can just sensibly get through this over, but for mine, they need to get a little bit aggressive in the last over.
They're going to take some risks.
Yeah,
they're definitely going to take some risks here.
The reality, they're on 8, halfway through their 3rd over. If they can't come on out at least 20 plus, he's in fact their last over, so...
Yeah, it's pretty obvious there. I mean, we've got a full toss to Clayton Floyd, yet he's just looked to bump that for down up 3, not quite getting the net score. But perhaps the attitude might have been to try and get back net there, Cam. Got to take those opportunities to try and claw some of these runs back.
Well, it's just the pressure it places on the next 2 batting pairs, huge. They now won't have any option but to be that aggressive. Whereas these 2 batsmen do still have the option. With an extra delivery.
Yeah, Dow's not quite hitting the mark there. Releasing just a little bit of pressure. Great shot from Dashfield. Playing straight, along the ground. That's low risk. It's effectively 6 runs off 1 ball there with the wide being repeated. Yeah, great shot from Dashfield.
And the final ball. And a dot to finish. So 15 runs in the end from the second partnership. New Zealand are on 54. Require 107 from the final 8 overs.
Australians just doing such a great job there with their execution. They're clinical in the field. That's what their game plan's been all week. And they've executed really well and placed a lot of pressure on both Floyd and Dashfield.
Absolutely. Well, once again, Guy, I'm told you're going to take a break from commentary. Thank you once again for your insight, and I know that you'll be joining our coverage again later today.
Thanks, Cam.
A quick update, once again, from the under-20 girls grand final. 18 runs from their second over of the final partnership, so they now are on 116, needing a further 35 runs for victory off the final 2 overs. So it's still game on over there. Okay, as The third batting partnership gets underway with Luke Taylor bowling from Australia to Gaskin from New Zealand. I'm joined now by another New Zealand cricket star, Craig Cumming. How are you, Craig?
Yeah, good, thanks. Enjoying what I'm seeing here today, actually. It's a lot of noise, a great atmosphere. And at the moment, I've been really impressed with the Australians. I think they're doing a good job.
Very consistent performance from the Australians.
Yeah, and it certainly has been.
Great delivery there from Taylor.
And one thing I noticed about their bowling, a lot of dot balls. So not only have they got their line right, they've got their length right. And it's put a lot of pressure on the young New Zealand batting lineup. But there's nothing like having total runs on the board. And when you're trying to chase that down, the pressure when it comes to batting, it certainly mounts and you start to feel it.
Collins getting an edge there, falling safely. It looks like Taylor's bowling very short to both of these batsmen, short and at the body.
Yeah, it looks like it could be a tactic, and you can certainly notice a difference in pace when it comes to the bowling as well. The Australians seem to be just slightly quicker, which always makes it harder if it's accurate.
Change of pace there, goes down leg side, 2 free runs for New Zealand. Collins would be happy to take that, you would think.
Absolutely. In any partnership, the first part of it is crucial. Getting underway, it gives you confidence, just allows you to relax those shoulders.
Another 2 runs to the total now. With 100-odd runs, or 99 runs required now, Guy Coleman and I were discussing the fact that New Zealand need to start getting a little bit aggressive. They need to start taking some risks.
Well, they do. Otherwise, you start to dig a hole and you can't get out of it. You've got to give yourself a chance to win. The challenge is how hard do you go and what risk do you take. I'd suggest maybe this pairing just looking to get through that first over, get a good start, and then look to go maybe overs 2 and 3. So you still want to create confidence, get a few balls under the belt, be able to get yourself set.
Good piece of fielding there from Oakley. A good slap back to the keeper. The Under-20 girls grand final, the second last over of the game, -3 runs off it. So Australia have more or less won that game in emphatic fashion.
It's amazing when you come along, and having not watched a lot of indoor cricket in the last wee while, it's just a standard of fielding. You know, the guys are so sharp, and I think back to some of the New Zealand players who have played, that I played alongside Chris Harris, Andre Adams, even Scott Styris, and there's probably no coincidence when you look at their background with indoor cricket and the way they used to field. Chris Harris is one of the guys who changed the way we fielded here in New Zealand. And the reaction time, the ability, and just the accuracy of the throwing is something that's amazed me.
Indoor cricket is certainly the game to foster those skills. We find in the Big Bash in Australia in particular, there are a number of players that are now in that arena, in that very short form of the outdoor game, that come from the same sort of a background, so the skills are translating.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Matt Schubert bowling his second over. 2 runs to begin with. Probably a little bit too far down leg side, particularly with only 1 fielder on the leg side of the batsman.
Well, it's nice to see the wrist spinner in action, and whenever they bowl, whether it be indoor or outdoor cricket, they're a threat. The key here will be his length. I felt this first over he bowled just a little bit full, allowing the New Zealand batters to get over the ball.
Full again.
If he can get it just back of the length and getting it turning, very hard, one, to be able to hit it, but then to control where you hit the ball. But nice to see the skill set transition in and outdoor.
You've called it. It was just short of the length and he's beaten him.
Well, it'll be interesting to see on the replay whether it dipped. Actually, that's one of the great strengths of the leg spinner. It looked like it created a Yorker, but nice and wide and just dips late.
It
Beautiful
does.
bowling.
Yeah. Schubert, a very successful leg spinner for Queensland in the under-20 competition back in Australia. I can say that because I managed to coach against him when his team beat us in the grand final. So I've experienced.
Yeah, he's got that lovely action, hasn't he? Nice and it's very, sort of that Shane Warne. It's the prototype, but the key is he looks like he gets a lot of revolutions, a nice wrist release.
Another 2 runs to the total.
Tough skill set though, and especially in the indoor environment where very little room for error. To be able to bowl well is definitely something they should be very, very proud of.
The Australians have gone up for the catch. It sounds like we're having a review. And while we wait for video referee Michael Guest to have a look at that, I can tell you that in the under-20 girls division, Australia are world champions, having defeated New Zealand 150 to 111. That is an amazing effort from Australia, given that New Zealand beat them twice during the tournament in a couple of close encounters. Australia putting on a massive 155, eventually modified to 150. New Zealand couldn't get over the line. So congratulations to Australia, world champions in the under-20 girls division. Phenomenal effort. Now back to the
question
boys' game.
here is whether or not there's a little bit of glove. It's bounced, and it's skidded through, but whether or not it clipped the top and bottom hand, it's always hard to tell. The Australians were very confident. As soon as it went into the gloves, they were up. Keys decided straight away that he thought there was a noise.
And that, they can only be doing that on the basis of a noise, and I can't see anywhere else that a noise would have been created. So I think this might be similar to the last referral we had, where instinctively we think that it's out, but there's not enough video evidence to actually award the wicket.
I'm just going to say, I don't know if you can quite go off these pitches without having a snicko or a hot spot.
Yeah.
It may have, but again, you could say you may see a deviation there, but I think you're a brave umpire to give that out. It was a perfect length. We've just been talking about the length for the leg spinner.
See, that frame right there for me shows the ball hitting the glove.
Yes.
But conclusively, it's hard to say.
It's definitely deviated, I think, because it's gone into the right hand.
Yep. And it's not out. That's the decision from the video umpire, and I can't blame him for that call. Not enough evidence.
No, there's not. And without having heard the noise, you are at that stage where you're guessing. You don't want an umpire to be making a call based on a guessing factor. So, benefit of the doubt with the batter. I've always said it should be that way. Correct.
Except when I'm bowling.
Exactly.
That is out without a doubt.
Well, that just comes back to the pressure. We spoke how often or how early do they go, and they've got to start taking risks. Well, New Zealand do, and it's always tough against the leg spinner. Again, the length being just back of the length, looking to use his feet. Couldn't get to the pitch of the ball. Just that nice little bit of dip and turn.
Good hands from Travis Keys behind the stumps. Gaskin responds with 2. That's the over with the total on 65. New Zealand needing to really start executing some risk-taking shots. It's funny, South Africa in the men's preliminary final last night were a good example. They were a long way off the New Zealand total for a long time. They just kept themselves in the game to the point where they actually had a chance of winning in the last over. This might seem insurmountable now, particularly if they're not hitting big, but for mine, if these two can hang around and at least get this pair in front of 100, the total in front of 100 by the time they walk off the court, it's still game on. Anything can happen.
Yeah, absolutely. You always want to give yourself a chance and an opportunity. I think if we look back on the New Zealand innings, that 10th over, I think we'll see has been crucial, maybe to Australian win. 2 wickets. As we see a good in-swinging Yorker there. Again, that just comes back to a little bit more pace, I think, compared to the New Zealand bowlers as well. If you've got the accuracy and it's swinging, it certainly makes it tough on the batter. If you can put in a leg stump Yorker with an in-swinger, it's going to be tough. One to hit, let alone score off.
Gaskin not very sure about Oakley here. On 3rd ball, New Zealand absolutely need to see this ball off without losing a wicket.
Good discussion going on there about the options. Going to go around the wicket.
And he's bowling. What a series of deliveries from Blair Oakley.
Yeah, well, we've seen 2 in-swingers, and then he's changed his line and gone around the wicket. And it looks like it's just the variation. He's just walking back to the top as Mark Rehab and Gaston there. It's just pressure. He's tried to play it. Looked like he was just going to go across him, so you're thinking it was going to be an in-swinger. And you can just put that down to pressure. The Australians have built it up with a lot of dot balls, resulting in wickets. I've also felt the Australian length's been very good. New Zealand looked like they bowled very full at times, was able to get Australian batters hit it into the ground, into the net, and it sort of looked quite easy because they were batting well, but I think it come back to the length. The Australian bowlers have bowled more back of length, and with change-ups has been able to grip.
Flat shot from Collins, hits the fielder, just a single. These two really need to start playing their shots now. Hit through the ball into the back court. They have no choice.
The challenge is with the in-swinger here from Oakley, they actually have got the room to free their arms and try and hit down the ground.
Saw Gaskin attempt it then, but...
Yeah, but when you've got the ball swinging in and the line is right, you can only really look to go leg side unless he gives himself a little bit of room. Be interesting to see if he tries the one that goes the other way or the straight one. Which he did, tried the outswinger. So it's just clever bowling, very clever bowling. Sometimes you can turn around and say to the batters haven't been able to do things, but it's a result that the Australians have bowled very well.
Absolutely. This has been a phenomenal over from Blair Oakley. Wonderful, wonderful over, and exactly what New Zealand did not want.
No, it certainly wasn't, but again, the New Zealand batters are having a wee conference and a drink and probably discussing what's gone wrong. But you've just got an in-swinging Yorker hitting the back leg. That's the perfect delivery. That's how you describe and try and teach kids and even senior cricketers where to bowl the leg stump Yorker. So it's a result of fantastic bowling and the pressure. You can see the Australians, I mean, they've been confident when they walked out, and they probably always were with their total, but I think you get that sense now they're starting to feel that they're getting closer to that title, and soon that not only confidence will turn to more excitement.
Ryan Dowse bowling for Australia. Good delivery to start the over.
Yeah, he bowled quite short in his last spell, so interesting to see if he sees that as a target as well. He's going around the wicket.
Now on third ball, we have to change the score on this delivery. And he's bowled the leg side. And I think you'll find...
Yeah, he'll be out, I think.
Yeah.
Hesitation. In the end of the day, it was going to be a wide, but because it went down leg, it looked like the two New Zealand batters actually lost eye contact and they couldn't find each other.
Well, I'm not sure whether or not the video referee can actually adjudicate on this. I mean, he's out at that end anyway, so Gaston will be given out, run out. But on third ball, the non-striker, so Collins, he actually can't slow down or stop once he's left his crease. So it looked to me like he more or less stopped stone cold there. So that should have would have been out automatically. I'm not sure if that's something that our video umpire can actually rule on, but in this case, didn't end up mattering. Gaskin well short of his crease.
Oh, it comes back to two. They're in a position where third ball comes from two dots. So it's just the pressure from the Australian bowlers. It's amazing how the games have changed, not only outdoor cricket, but indoor cricket with the change-ups. Now, there are so many variations because of probably T20 and all those. You haven't just got the off-cutter now, you've got the leg cutter, back of the hands, there's the sliders. It's amazing. It's sort of like baseball in a way that you've got so many deliveries that you can bowl.
Makes it very difficult for any batsman to get comfortable against any bowler that has those sorts of deliveries in their arsenal, for sure.
Dead right, and just means it's not so predictable. I think I heard Scott Storris talking about the other day. earlier today, sorry, about how he used to bat and how he liked to play. But as a bowler, good bit of fielding, the off cutter. Just as a batsman, you cannot just know what's coming at you. So you're always second guessing, and then you've got to actually play the ball so late. As soon as you start playing the ball late, mistakes can come in.
Going to be a review.
I think he's hit this. I think there's a wee. I heard a noise.
Yeah, definitely heard the noise, but I think we might find again. It's going to be difficult to give it out. Now, it's probably the use of the video umpire for the runouts, no question. But I'd like to see our umpires call catches like that. I know that umpire Paul Watson, he probably would have heard that. He just wants to see to make sure. But the important thing to note is these umpires haven't had the video umpire for the entire tournament up until now. So it's not that that's a decision they're incapable of making. So for catches like these, I'd like to see the umpires give it out or not out rather than refer it.
Totally agree. You may be able to make a prediction there and use the knowledge that you did hear a noise and you're trying to put it together with the pitches, but in cricket you have that gut instinct, you have that gut feel as an umpire and as a player. You know when someone's hit it. I definitely heard a noise. It's just down beside us. The umpire's just above us. He really can't give it out on the pitches.
No. So I'd be interested to know if our umpire has the ability to say, well, interestingly, they've given that out, has the ability to say, I'm sure I heard a sound. Can you check to see that it wasn't created by something other than the ball hitting the bat or the glove?
Yeah, no, that makes sense. And in that situation, because it was so far down leg, you actually knew it was going to be the bat. It wasn't one of those ones close to the hip.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, if they are using that knowledge in that way, it's a little bit like, can you give me a reason not to award the try in rugby or league?
Exactly.
It's been a real tough partnership this for New Zealand. Really tough. They come out probably with high hopes and knowing that it was crucial that these two had to get them through close to 100.
As you've been saying, Craig, the Australian bowling has just been up to the task. Haven't given the New Zealand batsmen enough width to drive, and the result is the score sits on 59 and New Zealand are still 102 run shy of victory. One ball remaining in the partnership. One scored. And that's the end of the 12th over. New Zealand 101 runs shy of victory.
Yeah, great effort by the Australians. You want to put as much pressure on you can on the final pairing as they come out to bat. Gaskin and Collins, partnership of 6. They tried their best, but it come down to they had to risk, they had to take opportunities. They tried to force the pace. And against very good bowling, they weren't able to do it. They lost wickets at regular intervals. You could see their heads start to drop. They started to lose a little bit of confidence.
And have a look at Blair Oakley's figures there. He's bowled his 2 overs. He's only taken 1 wicket. But he's only gone for 6 runs. I mean, how many dots must he have bowled?
Oh, superb. And I watched him bat, and I thought he played very well when he was batting as well. But the control to be able to bowl the in-swinger, he had a great Yorker, and then be able to swing the ball the other way. Skills that just challenge any batting group. And it's hard enough to actually keep some of them out, let alone try and score off them. Plenty of stars for today for Australia, but certainly look at that from a bowling point of view.
Now, viewers may notice that Collins is batting again for New Zealand, Eric Collins. Now, that's a result of Brett Taylor has injured his back, and he therefore will not be batting, so the fielding side has picked Eric Collins to bat again. So he's batting for 8 overs straight. New Zealand captain Corey Parrott, fending that ball away. That's just a dot to start. And with New Zealand needing over 100 runs here, I think it's fairly safe to say that Australia have won the match.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. It's always probably hard in the last pairing when you come out in a final and the opposition are going to be cock-a-hoot. They're going to be pretty excited and you're going to be on the back end of probably a fair bit of verbal. And you've got to deal with that excitement, but you've also got to try and do the best for your side. So a challenging time for the New Zealand pair.
Look, despite the fact that the game may be out of reach for New Zealand, I think it's important, not just for these two, but for the side, that these two do put on a decent score. Ideally get the team over 100 runs. If they're not going to win the World Cup, then the fact that this is an under-20 World Cup, New Zealand want these two batsmen and all of the participants in this side to come out of it with the experience of knowing what it takes to compete, knowing what they need to do the next time they're in this situation. So I'd be really interested to see, particularly if we've got the New Zealand captain out here batting now, if these two can do that.
Yeah, it's a really good point you make, Cam. And end of the day, maybe down to the coach saying, give them a goal. Look, we want to try and get 40. Because in a situation next time they find themselves in a final, they want to go out and still be able to use this as a time where they can look back and go, well, we did really well in our period. We can only control that. We were in a situation where, you know, next time we come out, we know we need 40. We've been through that. We've experienced it. We were able to succeed. Tough, though, when you know you're probably in a losing scenario, but...
Yeah.
So that's just another great example there of just a line in the length. The left arm is swinging the ball in. He's giving no room to free the arms. It's on that length that you could be going forward or back.
And it's been referred, but that one looks out for mine, and I'm pretty sure Perrott knows it too.
Yeah, he does. He didn't have that great look. I think that certainly come up short. Good bit of fielding by Oakley again. Just the tap onto the keeper.
Yeah, well short of his ground. Look, again, I can't fault the umpire for referring that. As much as the video reviews of runouts often prove naked eye safe runouts to be out, you can occasionally see that the keeper didn't have the ball, things like that. So certainly worth a review.
Well, you don't want to get into the point where you lose the ability to trust the naked eye. And sometimes you always work out that the naked eye, if it looks like he's in by about sort of 5 centimetres, you actually know he's out by 5 centimetres. You start to get that balance. When you just start trusting the TV and going to the TV and the review system, sometimes you can lose the ability to make a real-time decision. I suppose in a final, the TV cameras are here. You don't want to make a mistake. They're like players. They don't want to get in a situation where they make a call that could be wrong. But I'm sure in a situation like we just saw there, he would have got that one right.
Cooper's bowling his second over now. His first over was fantastic. Collins hitting him for 2 high into the leg side net.
Yeah, well, the New Zealand captain there, he's tried to hit it down, tried to get the maximum. Unfortunately, it hit the roof and went on the back wall and was taken comfortably. But I like that option. At the end of the day, he's got to, he still wants to give himself a chance. It is high risk, high reward, but you can also understand what he's trying to do. I'll tell you one thing I know, it's going to be very loud here this afternoon when it comes to the 2 other finals we've got going on.
Absolutely. Crowds building well towards those 2 games, and I guess the benefit for the teams in our 2 Open Grand Finals is that all of the other participants from not only their divisions but the junior divisions as well will be there to see those 2 spectacles of indoor cricket. They'll be 2 of the best games of indoor cricket going around.
I'm really looking forward to it. I think we might have to have some earplugs on as well, though. Some of the
Definitely.
Yeah, I think close to 1,000 tickets, and I think they're nearly sold out from what I was told. So that's great news. Out in the Hutt Valley here in Wellington, the capital of New Zealand.
Yeah, the host centre here, Hutt Indoor Sports, have done a wonderful job throughout the tournament. A wonderful team of staff here. at Hutt Indoor Sports, and the facilities come up really well. Courts are in excellent condition. A brilliant venue for Wellington to host the Indoor Cricket World Cup for the second time, the last time in 2002. 2 runs for Perrott.
Yeah, it's part of preparation and coming today. I went on and had a look at the last couple of finals and well, and they're great atmospheres. It's certainly a good product. I think it's a great TV product as well because everything's in front of you. And I think it's one of those things where, as a spectator, you're so close to the action.
I frequently encounter people that haven't either played or experienced indoor cricket before, and then come along to something like this, whether it's a world event or a national event, and are blown away by not only the quality of the game and the talent that's on display, but the atmosphere. So it's rare that a spectator comes to an indoor cricket event of this calibre and walks away without their minds being blown.
Well, we talk these days about going to an event, about entertainment. And this is entertainment. It's fast-paced. You're so close to the action. You can hear the players talking. You can hear the band. You can hear a little bit of the verbals going on. And that's what you want when you come into an event. Very little downtime.
You can see there the Australian captain getting some instructions there from the coach and the manager of the Australian team, Ron Olsen and Peter Fry. So, for me, sign of just how aggressive the Australian team is. They've got the game won. They're nearly 100 runs in front, and yet the captain's still over there consulting with the team officials. They're really invested in finishing this job.
And one thing I noticed, especially at the start of both the Australian and New Zealand innings, is the intensity early on. But it's the ability to be able to hold that for the whole period of time. Lovely Yorker. And it's a real challenge. And from a batting point of view, sometimes you might find that middle to later period is actually a real time to strike because you physically can't stay up emotionally in the way they are at the start for the 16 overs. So it could be something in that tactic.
Dot ball in this penultimate over in the under-20 grand final.
But Australia have just been too good. But yeah, I looked at it. I think their first partnership for Australia. See Collins dismissed again. That set up the win for them. It was over 50 runs. It was the ease in which they looked like they played. You could see their bench get confidence. You could see the New Zealand heads dropped. And it was like the Australians were always in front of the game. And the New Zealanders, when they come in half-time, they sat down, they were very dejected. They actually didn't look like they really believed they could win it. So it just puts the power on that start of a final, how crucial that was.
Very bright futures ahead for both of those batsmen, Ryan Dowse and Jamie Dina. Phenomenal talents.
Yeah, they played nicely, really did. You know when you're seeing good players when it looks easy, and the way they were just bumping around, they were hitting the ball into the ground and into the side nets. The New Zealand fielders couldn't get into the game.
2 runs for Collins.
And there's nothing more frustrating when you start a final. You want to get off to a good start. The New Zealanders wanted to start well with the ball. And they just couldn't get into it. They couldn't even get their hands on the ball. They couldn't give themselves an opportunity. Then they got an opportunity and they couldn't quite take it. It was just frustrating for them. That's the end of the 15th over. New Zealand 74.
Okay, and it's now the last over of the under-20s World Cup final. It'll be Jamie Deaner to bowl. Just 8 legal deliveries between Australia and the world title.
Yeah, the momentum will continue on for Australia, having won the earlier final. The court beside us. There was a lot of noise coming over there. Obviously, New Zealand were in that for a period of time because there was a lot of excitement, whereas the New Zealand crowd here haven't really been able to get into it because Australia have just led from the front.
Good hands from Wade Burrows to gather it, not so much to the disposal.
The question is, did he gather it or did he just hit him? It come at a fair rate of knots.
Yeah.
Parrott's certainly been aggressive. The Australian bowler's also got a lot of swing, both ways. Puts down a lot of skill. It's kept the New Zealand batters guessing. The difference between the old half volley and be able to hit it down and getting it nice and high and get the field in the Yorker, it's not far, but from an execution point of view,
Collins has absolutely smashed that at the Australian captain.
Didn't mean to say all that loud on air, but that would have hurt. I think the bowling group's decided to have a little bit of fun and try a few new variations. The guys in close aren't so happy.
Especially not when you're the captain.
Absolutely. He will pretty good soon. There's nothing like winning a World Championship, but being the skipper makes it even more special. We're very proud of his group.
There's the last ball. It is a dot. And umpire Paul Watson signals the end of the match. And Australia are the under-20 world champions once again. As you see the rest of the team run onto the court. They finished the game 160 to New Zealand's 85. Captained by Ryan Dowson, coached by Ron Olsen. Congratulations to the Australian side. Now, we should shortly be able to show you some interviews with both the successful and the New Zealand captains after that game. We should be crossing to Scott Styris to talk with those, but that's another trophy in the cabinet.
Absolutely, Australia have been too good. New Zealand will be disappointed, but the thing is, Australia have come out from the start of this game. They've dominated. They've been better with the bat. They've been better with the ball. They haven't had to be as much pressure put on them in the field because of the way they've executed their skills. So they'll sit back and they'll feel and realise that they have been the better team. New Zealand, well, they'll take this as experience, but today they've been beaten by a far better side who just executed on the day. You can put it down to experience, but it still will hurt.
The president of the World Indoor Cricket Federation has just presented the Australian captain with the world title as the boys get together for a trophy. I think it is important what New Zealand take away from this game. As the under-20s division, we know that we'll see a lot of these guys in international indoor cricket again. You never know, some of them might even progress to first-class outdoor cricket careers. There's plenty of opportunities for them that obviously have the talent.
Absolutely, and their goal will be to watch, some of the heroes and the guys that are playing this afternoon in the men's final. You use these experiences from today. You use these experiences from these tournaments to be able to get better. So when you get into this environment or the top environment, then you're far more experienced, you're skilled. So you certainly don't just walk away and be disappointed and gain nothing from the game. As the Australian side celebrate with a trophy. But no, every experience you can gain, and to be able to make a final at your home means a lot. And I'm sure when they sit back, they'll be very proud of what they've been able to achieve this week.
Now, the New Zealand side certainly deserved to be in the final today. The fantastic tournament and lots of talent there. Have a look at this scorecard. You can see that opening pair was phenomenal. 20 runs and 19 runs from Nick O'Sullivan and Daniel Rose respectively. 39, that was the perfect start. From that point on, and I think whether it was the Australians just taking it up a notch or whether it just followed some instructions from their coach, the bowling went to a whole other level and it just made it way too difficult for Australia to score. You can see here the leading wicket taker, the over that absolutely turned the match in Australia's favour came from Ben Cooper bowling the 5th over of the match, 3 wickets for 6. And we'll now throw you over to Scott Styris, who is with the Australian captain, Ryan Dowse.
Yeah, I'm joined by the winning Australian captain, Ryan Dowse. Pretty dominating performance.
Yeah, it was a pretty good performance, which capped off a pretty good week. We played pretty well throughout the whole game. We set ourselves up with the batted them out of the game, put 160 on the board, come out with the ball and bowled our areas and shut the game out from there.
Yeah, getting 160 on the board in a final, runs on the board, they always say, is always a positive. But that was set up by yourself and Jamie Dina at the top with 57 opening partnership.
Yeah, I mean, myself and Jamie went off to a good start, but it followed on from there, from the next 3 pairs going, hitting 30s and that, which really set the game up well. That allowed us to hit the 160, and obviously runs on the board in the final mean everything.
Yeah, watching from the sideline, I thought you guys did the basics really well. You didn't give the New Zealand side many opportunities. You only lost 4 wickets.
Yeah, it was a pretty fairly disciplined batting performance. I think we only got out 4 times. Just hitting the ball up into the springs when they can't field it. Batting fairly smart, calling loud, just doing all the really simple things right with the bat.
Yeah, of course you got 160 against this New Zealand side in the last match. Was that talked about at any stage, knowing that you've just got the same score and they got close?
Look, it's probably on your mind a little bit, but I think we bowled a little bit smarter today and fielded a little bit smarter. And obviously finals are a completely different beast, and they play little mental games with you as well. So
brilliant, nice work. Thanks very much. Go enjoy it, team. I like it. And now, unfortunately for us, New Zealand, I'm going to say us because that's what we are, on the losing side, it never really went your way right from the start.
Yeah, no, it didn't. We had bowling plans, didn't really execute them. They batted really well, so credit to them, yeah. Yeah,
they did. I mean, I just asked Ryan about that. They got off to a really good start, 57 as an opening partnership. Put you guys on the back foot straight away. Yeah,
it did. Like, not getting wickets in the first partnership's crucial, and yeah, so I played to them. Yeah, there was a lot of noise, though, at the start, which means that the team's getting into it. But then we noticed after about 8 to 12 overs, that had quietened a lot down. What can you do as skipper there? I don't know, I guess you can try your hardest, because I was fielding at the back. You can try and make some noise from back there. Maybe build a little bit of talk in the huddles, try and get them G'd up, but obviously it didn't work that well. Yeah, and 160 on the board, always tough on the final. But 160 they made against you in the last match. You can take confidence in the fact that you ran them close. Was there any talk of that? How did you approach it? Yeah, well, we knew we got close last time. We didn't have our strongest batting order. We had our strongest batting order this time, but yeah, it just didn't really go away. Hard luck. Yeah, cheers.
And some wonderful thoughts there from 2 future cricketing talents in Dowse and Perrott. Your final thoughts on the game, Craig?
Yeah, well, I think both captains summed it up. I mean, Australia batted exceptionally well. They only lost 4 wickets. They were able to build partnerships. They really didn't have a pairing that failed. They just it was a team effort where they got over 160 on the board batting first in a final. The pressure was on New Zealand. New Zealand got off to a good start, but then I thought the Australian bowlers were outstanding. Their length was great. Their line was great. They built up dot balls, which put pressure on the New Zealand batters. Then when there's pressure on, they had to try and take risks, and Australia were able to take wickets. So that culminated in New Zealand's score going nowhere for the next wee period. So Australia certainly deserved their win, and we look forward to the next match coming up.
And there you have it, Australia, the world champions in both the under-20 girls and boys. Stay with us now. The next game we have on our coverage will be the Australian women and the New Zealand women in the Open Women's Grand Final. Until then, for Craig Cummings, Scott Styris, Guy Coleman and the rest of the broadcast team, I'm Cameron Walter. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you shortly.